This video is how to replace the edging on a 1935 Derby Bentley side window. The tools you'll need is a rubber mallet, screws, a screwdriver, pen, vernier caliper, tape, the window seal tape, and a speed square. The very first thing you need to do is to clean the glass, paying particular attention to the edge where the tape will be bonding. Here's our clean glass now, and we're going to take a look at the channels that are used to cover the edge of the glass. They are chrome plated. They're a U channel, and this is the longest one of the three chrome edges to be applied to this window. One of the shorter ones has a curvature in it, and the purpose of that is to match a curved section of the side car window. Here it's being installed just temporarily. I'll point out that below my hand there is a 45-degree angle cut in that channel, and that is so we have a nice clean corner once all three pieces of trim are applied to the glass. The other shorter piece of chrome will be applied at the other end of the glass. What we're doing here is we're checking everything to make sure it fits properly before we go to permanently attaching it to the glass. The dark brown red colored piece of metal was installed in the beginning by the coach builder. The long piece on the end has an angle piece of metal that's on the inside of the channel. You'll see a little machine screw there, and another machine screw above the number 4 that holds those angles on the inside of the channel. Here's another machine screw above the number 3. So that all pieces match up when they're installed, the ends of the pieces are numbered, as you can see the number 3 here. The other end of those pieces of channel are marked with the number 4. The British mark these with little pin punches inside the channel where they're invisible, and I'm pointing to where they're located. I will reinstall the curved piece back on the window so I can put the long piece in place just for demonstration purposes. Here is our glass panel now that has got the surround all the way installed. I'm going to tighten this one machine screw that fastens to the angle bracket on the inside of the channel, and we're going to install another machine screw in the hole next to the number 3 here. These screws are small. They're number 5 screws, 40 threads per inch, and I have them in 1/4 length and 3/16. We're going to be using a 3/16 inch length for installing it in the hole here at the number 3 position. Now these are small screws, so fiddling with them, most likely they'll drop on the floor before you get it done. And the reason that they'll fall away is because they're not magnetically attracted by the screwdriver because they're stainless steel. So we'll go back and try to install this screw again, just for demonstration purposes, so you can see what this is like. And we'll fiddle around with this thing with the screwdriver until we finally get the screw to take a bite. And it looks as though we have it here, and yes, we do. It is taking a bite, and so we have thumbs up on this one. Now that all sides have been installed properly and all the screws are in place, we're going to take a look at the trim that's on the window right now. Here's some tape on the long trim piece with a mark, and another piece of tape in a different location with a mark on it. And we're down on the number 4 location of the trim, and the machine screws that are installed. You will notice that one screw rides a little proud. Well, in the final end, we will file that screw down so it fits smooth to the surface of the trim. They're stainless steel, so filing them will not cause them to rust. The little marks on here are for reference purposes, so that we can line everything back up again when it's time to assemble it permanently. Now there's lateral movement between the two side chrome pieces, and this lateral movement needs to be measured. So we're going to get our vernier caliper for that and take a measurement of this distance here. It looks like it's 300 thousandths or 3/10 of an inch, and we're going to divide that by 2 so we have equal distance on each side. So we'll make it 150 thousandths. Now this is 150 thousandths that we have set our caliper at, and we're going to go ahead and set the distance here at 150 thousandths. Now after that was done, both sides will have the same distance of travel, and so the edging has been lined up equally on each side. Here we're going to extend the one mark. We're going to do it to both marks. We're going to extend one mark on here onto the glass tape so that we can find our way back when we install the glass permanently. Now I've cut a piece of the glass tape that is used to install the channel and hold it on the glass. This tape comes in a roll, like quite a long piece of stuff. It's 1.5 inches wide, and we'll take a look at that on the tape measure here just to show you the distance from side to side. There you can see from number 7 to 8.5, it's 1.5 inches. Now we cut this piece that's on the glass now longer than necessary, and we'll trim those ends when we get to establishing the proper length when putting the trim back on. In the next step, we're going to mark the center line of this piece of tape, and I'll discuss that in a minute as to why that's important. We're going to mark the center line of this tape. It's quite soft, so we can use a sharp instrument here to make a small mark on the surface of the tape, and we're going to get the center line established. We're measuring this in 3/4 of an inch from each edge. And the reason for finding the center line is that when you're putting this tape on the glass prior to attaching the channel, it's a little difficult to see if the tape is hanging over both sides of the glass an equal distance. So this center line will certainly make the job a lot easier. Now we're going to take a sharp edge and make a sharp mark on here using a straight edge. And we're just about done. Then we're going to go down and put a carpet on the floor, because we're going to use the floor as the backup while we hammer. The long edge of the glass now has the tacky tape that holds the channel in place already installed. We're going to take the long piece of channel and line up the marks on the channel and the glass temporarily. Here we're cutting off the long overhang of tape that we made this tape longer in the beginning, if you'll recall. And now we're going to check this one more time to see if the end of that tape is too long or not. And it appears to be so. Another small nip of tape. And we should have the correct amount now. So now we will take and line up our reference marks. The two lines on the tape, the glass and the metal, should line up, and we'll gently tap this down to start adding the chrome to this part of the window. And tapping it using the floor as a backup so that all the forces go down equally and don't damage the glass. And we're just about going to be done with this right now. This is our last angle to put on the glass. This is a short one on one end of the glass, and that's been hammered on now properly. And the next step now, after this is done, we'll move on. Here is our window with all three pieces of chrome edging applied. You will see the excessive amount of tape around the edge of the chrome hanging onto the glass, and that we will cut off with a razor knife so it leaves a nice clean fit. Notice our lineup on our references is proper. All the corners are in place with all the screws. And the last thing, as I mentioned, is to take off the excess tape, which I'm not going to show you now. You can do that on your own. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.